Hi everyone, so we're going to go over BEDMAS and Arithmetics. So we're going to look at this acronym here, BEDMAS, which stands for bracket, exponent, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So it's really important you understand BEDMAS because it's going to help you with the arithmetics and any mathematical equation you do within JavaScript or any other programming language. So whatever the first one is, which is bracket, it has the most importance. So even though maybe a mathematical equation could have multiple of these, whatever is highest in the ranking is going to go first. So if there's a bracket somewhere in the equation, the brackets, whatever's inside the brackets, will go first. And so on as you go down, and you can see here subtraction has the least importance. So subtraction will go all the way at the end of whatever equation you set up. So let's go through some examples that we could take a look at. Let's look at bracket. And let's set up an equation like var z is equal to, I'm just going to put the numbers directly inside for right now, 2 multiplied by 3, and then plus 2. And if we console.log z, let's see what shows up. Node index.js, and you can see we get the value of 8. The reason why is because we have these brackets. And you can see that, remember here in BEDMAS, brackets is the highest in order. So that means do whatever's inside the brackets first. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. That's why we get the number 8 in the terminal. Or if we have like multiple brackets like these, where we have some sort of really complex equation, like we're dividing, but we want to do some sort of all the multiplication first. So 2 multiplied by 3 first, then 2 multiplied by 6, and then we do the division, and then we plus by 2. If I save it and I run this, you can see I get 2.1666, and then let's see if I try to remove these brackets. Save it. You can see I get the number 8. So brackets really help denote like what you want to do first. So then whenever this program is reading the equation, it knows like how to go about solving the problem. So I'm just going to go back to the original equation here, because I want to also expand this. So here is just the simple equation, and I'm just going to kind of dissect it and pull it apart. So I'll just do var x is equal to 2 and var y is equal to 3, and then I'll do z is equal to x multiplied by y and then plus x, because remember here, these are variables, so x is something we already initialized right here, and we know it's the value of 2. So remember here in our equation, we don't have to, or we should not put the numbers directly inside. We should have these numbers within some sort of variable like we set up right here. So what I'm doing is I'm extracting these numbers and I'm replacing it with the variable that we can reuse. Because you can see we have the number 2 here and the number 2 here, so we could repeat the same variable. So right here I have x and x, because we know that x has the value of 2, and then y has the value of 3. So it should give us the exact same answer. And I'm just going to put a var in front of z. There should always be a var variable whenever you initialize something. And I'm going to do console.log z. And let's take a look at this. So we know that the first one is 8. Let's see what the next one will be. So you can see here we get 8 and 8 because they're the exact same equation, but I just pretty much dissected the equation and broke it down into its own variables. So let's go to another example here, like exponent. And I'll just do it directly inside the console. And exponents are represented by the 2 stars. So I'm going to do 3 exponent 4. So let's see what exactly gets shown here. So we get 81. And I'm going to show you something. Like, whenever you have this exponent right here, 3 star star 4 is not the same as 3 multiplied by 4, because this is actually a shorter version. I'll show you first why 3 multiplied by 4 does not equal the same thing, because 3 multiplied by 4 is just going to be 12. And this is not the same. But if I do console.log and write it out the long way, I can do 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, do that 4 times, and then this is equivalent to 3 to the exponent of 4. So 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So doing that 4 times is the same as using the exponent just like that. And it should give us the number 81. Let's take a look here in our terminal. We get 81. Division. So let's go to division now. So let's say I have some sort of variable a, and that's equal to 10, and var b is equal to 2, and then var c is equal to a divided by b. So divide is just the forward slash and then b and semicolon at the end. So what I'm doing is, again, I'm just reusing variables. So we know that a, which I've initialized here, contains the value of 10, and then b contains the value of 2. So then we are just doing 10 divided by 2, and that should give us, so let's actually be careful with that division, but we know that 10 divided by 2 will then give us 5. So let's run this in our terminal. And I'm going to console log this. See. And let's take a look at this. So you can see here we get 5. Multiplication. I'll do var length is equal to 5. Var width is equal to 10. Var area is equal to length multiplied by width. Console.log area. So what it's doing here is we are multiplying, and multiplication involves using the star symbol, which is directly above the number 8 on your keyboard. And right now we're just trying to calculate the area, which is length times width. So length is 5, so we have length of 5, and width we have 10. So it'll be 5 multiplied by 10, which should give us the answer of 50. Let's take a look here in our terminal. There we go, we get 50. And then we have addition. Addition. So what that means is we're using the plus symbol to add things together. So let's say we have var marbles bag 1. There's 10 marbles there, and then var marbles bag 2 is equal to 20. And what we're going to do is we're going to have some sort of total marbles is equal to marbles bag 1 plus marbles bag 2. And then we will console log total marbles. And you can see right here we get the value of 30. Because what we're doing is we're just taking whatever variable stored here, the number value, which is 10. So 10 plus 20 is going to give us 30. And then we have subtraction. So var pies is equal to 10. And then we have var, maybe we're going to eat some pies. We'll eat 2 of the pies. And then I'll say var total pies is equal to pies minus eat. So what we're doing here is we're trying to see, based on what we start off with, we're going to see how much we are left with later on once we eat the number of pies. So console.log total pies, total pies. And what we have here is we have 8, because pies is 10, and then we eat 2, so 10 minus 2 will give us 8. So hopefully that helped with understanding about BEDMAS. You really have to be able to play around with the variables, these different symbols right here that will be very helpful, and you must know in order to perform any of these arithmetics. And you have to know the order of importance. So here brackets is the most important, while subtraction is the least important, because you never know how your equation's set up, and there may be a specific way that the numbers are to be calculated.